This video is about she drove to the open market and a billionaire smiled at her. If this story touches your heart, please mention where you are watching from in the comments. Please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. Lena Parker squinted against the morning sun as she navigated the winding roads leading to the open market. Her modest sedan rattled softly, its engine not quite keeping up with the rhythm of her racing thoughts. She could always feel the pulse of the vibrant market long before she arrived, the distant hum of voices, the scent of fresh produce mingling with baked bread, and the occasional laughter that danced like butterflies on the warm breeze. Her heart lifted at the prospect of being surrounded by the colors and sounds of life. It was her small weekly ritual and escape from the dreary confines of her 9-to-5 job at the accounting firm. The market was her sanctuary, a place where she could blend into the crowd and lose herself in the sights and smells, if only for a few hours. Lena pulled into a cramped parking space, her fingers brushing the worn leather of the steering wheel. She caught a glimpse of her reflection in the rearview mirror, a cascade of unruly chestnut curls framing a face that still held the remnants of youthful hopes. A flicker of self-doubt crossed her mind. Did she look okay? Did she fit in with the confident women she'd see at the market? With a deep breath to quell her nerves, she stepped out of the car, letting the warm air envelop her. The sun kissed her skin, and she felt the weight of her insecurities lift, if only a little. As she walked towards the market entrance, her senses ignited. The sound of laughter and chatter enveloped her like a favorite song. Stalls lined the path, vibrant awnings fluttering in the breeze, showcasing everything from organic vegetables to handmade jewelry. Lena's mouth watered at the sight of fresh pastries, their sugary scent wafting through the air. She ambled through the throngs of people, exchanging small smiles with strangers, her heart feeling lighter with each step. She reached the stall selling artisan bread and was greeted by the vendor, a cheerful older woman with laugh lines etched deeply into her sun-kissed skin. "Good morning, dear, you've come just in time," she beamed, her hands deftly wrapping a loaf in brown paper. "Good morning, that looks delicious," Lena replied, her gaze lingering on the golden crust. "Nothing like a warm loaf to start the weekend," the woman said, her eyes twinkling. "You're just in time for the special take one, and I'll throw in a sourdough." "Really? That's too generous," Lena protested, but the woman waved her hands dismissively. "Nonsense, a little kindness goes a long way. Besides, you look like you could use a treat." Lena smiled, feeling a blush creep up her cheeks as she accepted the warm bread. "Thank you, you're so sweet." As she moved away from the stall, she caught sight of a figure standing a few feet away. He was tall, dressed casually yet effortlessly stylish, with tousled dark hair that caught the sun just right. He was examining a selection of fruits, but it was the way he interacted with the vendor, laughing, teasing, that drew her in. Then he turned, and their eyes met. His gaze was intense, almost magnetic, and for a heartbeat, the world around her fell away. She felt an inexplicable pull, a warmth spreading through her that made her forget the weight of her insecurities. "A nice choice on the sourdough," he said, his voice smooth like silk laced with a hint of mischief. "I might have to take tips from you." Lena blinked, momentarily speechless. "Oh, thanks, She fumbled her words, unsure how to respond to his piercing blue eyes that seemed to see past her facade. "I am Ethan," he said, extending a hand. "And you are?" "Lena," she replied, placing her hand in his. His grip was firm, yet gentle, sending a jolt of electricity through her. "Pleasure to meet you, Lena. You're a fan of baking, I see," he teased, glancing at her bread. "Only as a spectator," she admitted, a small laugh escaping her lips. "Baking hasn't quite been my forte." "Ah, so that makes you a connoisseur. Is that why you're here, sampling the best?" He smiled, and she felt her heart race a little faster. He had a way of making her feel seen, sparkling with an energy that felt intoxicating. But Lena's mind churned with a rush of self-doubt. What could a man like him possibly want with someone like her? "I am just here for the bread," she laughed lightly. "It's a weekly ritual for me." "It looks like you've found a good spot," he said, gesturing towards the stall. "What else are you planning to pick up? Anything exciting?" "Maybe some fresh produce." She gestured vaguely toward a nearby stall. "I could use some inspiration." "Let us go explore then. I am in the mood for some adventure." She hesitated for a moment, her mind racing with the implications. Was this really happening? A billionaire, she had heard snippets about him, the enigmatic Ethan Sinclair, a name whispered amongst the town as elite, was offering to spend time with her. But how could she possibly compete with the women he must be used to? "I'm sure," she managed, forcing a smile as she felt a mix of excitement and fear. As they walked together, the market teemed with life, but Lena found herself entranced by Ethan's presence. His laughter mingled effortlessly with the sounds around them, creating an intoxicating melody that made her heart skip. He asked her questions, each inquiry layered with genuine interest, and she found herself opening up, sharing bits of her life as they moved from stall to stall. "Have you always lived here?" he asked, his eyes alight with curiosity as they stopped before a vendor selling vibrant bouquets of flowers. "All my life," she replied, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "I love the community here. There is something special about it." "I can see that," he said, leaning closer, his voice dropping to a more intimate tone. "You fit right in. It is like you belong." Lena's breath caught in her throat at the sincerity in his eyes. "I try," she said softly, a hint of vulnerability creeping into her words. "But sometimes I wonder if I am meant for something more." His gaze was penetrating, and she felt exposed, as if he could read the fears etched beneath the surface. "Everyone has doubts, Lena. What matters is how you choose to rise above them." She looked away, her heart racing with the intensity of the moment. "Easier said than done," she murmured, the weight of her insecurities starting to bubble to the surface. "Maybe, but you seem like someone who is not afraid to challenge yourself," he replied, prompting her to meet his gaze once more. "I admire that." Lena felt a rush of warmth at his words, but also a nod of uncertainty. She was acutely aware of the disparity between their worlds. Could this be more than just a fleeting moment? As they meandered through the market, the chemistry between them crackled like static electricity in the air. They shared laughter over the vendor's silly puns, and Lena found herself leaning into his playful banter, feeling more alive than she had in years. But as they approached a stall filled with colorful fabrics and handcrafted scarves, a pang of jealousy flickered through her. A group of glamorous women sauntered past, their laughter like chimes in the wind. They barely acknowledged Ethan, but Lena felt the weight of their gaze upon her, and her heart sank. What if he was just being nice? What if he was simply amused by her rustic charm? "Hey," Ethan said gently, noticing her sudden shift in demeanor. "You okay?" "Yeah, just thinking," she replied, forcing a smile, but the tension in her chest tightened. "Thinking about what?" he pressed, his brow furrowing slightly in concern. "Just life, I guess," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "Sometimes it feels like I am stuck in a cycle." "Life is a series of cycles. It is how you break them that defines you," he replied, his eyes searching her face, trying to gauge her turmoil. Lena swallowed hard, unsure if she should reveal her deeper fears, her dreams that felt untouchable. Instead, she turned the conversation back to him. "What about you? What is a billionaire like you doing in a place like this?" Ethan chuckled, the sound rich and soothing. "I like to explore life outside my bubble. People are real here. No pretense, just authenticity." She smiled, feeling a flicker of hope. Had she misjudged him? As they continued to chat, the flirtation shifted subtly, the air thick with unspoken tension. Lena could feel the warmth radiating from him, an energy that drew her closer. But the doubt still lingered in the recesses of her mind, casting shadows on the bright possibilities. Maybe this was just a moment, an encounter that would flicker like fireflies in her memory. And yet, as their laughter echoed amidst the vibrant market, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that this meeting was just the beginning of something much deeper. As they strolled deeper into the market, the cacophony of voices swirled around them, but for Lena, it was as if the world had narrowed down to just Ethan and her. The vibrant colors of the stalls blurred into a soft background, their laughter and chatter fading into a melodic hum. It was intoxicating, disorienting. She felt like she was floating. "Have you tried the peach jam from that stall over there?" Ethan asked, pointing to a booth adorned with jars of glittering fruit preserves. "It is like sunshine in a jar." "No, I haven't tea," Lena replied, a smile creeping onto her lips. "But it sounds amazing." "Let us get some, I'll treat you," he said, his eyes sparkling with mischief, and Lena's heart did a little flip. He guided her through the throng of people, his hand brushing against her back, a subtle yet electric contact that sent shivers down her spine. She could feel the warmth radiating from him, and she fought the urge to lean into him further. As they approached the stall, a middle-aged woman with a welcoming smile greeted them. "Good morning. Can I tempt you with some samples?" Ethan leaned closer to Lena, his voice low and conspiratorial. "I think we should try the raspberry jam too. It is to die for." "Sure," she said, trying to keep her tone light, but her heart raced. The way he leaned into her, the shared secret of savoring the jam, it felt intimate, charged. The vendor handed them small spoons, and as they tasted the rich flavors, Lena glanced up to find Ethan watching her closely. "What do you think?" he asked, his expression sincere, as if he genuinely cared about her opinion. "It is delicious," she exclaimed, her eyes lighting up. "The raspberry has this perfect tartness. It is like summer on your tongue." Ethan's laughter filled the space between them, warm and inviting. "You have a way with words, Lena. You make even jam sound poetic." "I guess that is my hidden talent," she replied, a blush creeping across her cheeks. It felt good to be noticed, to be admired. She knew she was out of her league, yet here she was, sharing a moment that felt almost magical. After purchasing a couple of jars, they wandered toward a stall bursting with vibrant flowers. The vendor, a woman adorned with flowers in her hair, beckoned them over enthusiastically. "Freshly picked today. Take a look," she called, her arms wide as if to embrace the world. Ethan moved closer to Lena, plucking a delicate sunflower and holding it up to her. "What do you think? A perfect match for your smile." Lena laughed, her heart fluttering. "Oh, please, I couldn't possibly." "Why not? You deserve a little sunshine in your life." He stepped closer, and she could feel the warmth radiating from him, the intimacy of the moment wrapping around them like a blanket. She took the flower from him, its vibrant petals brushing against her fingertips, an emblem of this unexpected connection. "Okay, maybe just this once," she said, and a playful spark ignited in Ethan's eyes. As they walked away from the stall, the flower nestled in her hair. She felt a pang of giddy happiness, but it was quickly shadowed by the gnawing doubt that had been lingering just beneath the surface. He was a billionaire. What could he possibly see in her? They paused by a stall featuring handmade pottery, the artisan's creations organized artfully on display. "These are beautiful," she whispered, reaching out to touch a smooth, deep blue vase that caught her eye. "Yeah, they are. I love how each piece is unique, just like the stories they carry," Ethan said, his gaze resting thoughtfully upon her. "Do you collect pottery?" she asked, intrigued by the depth of his interest. "Not really," he chuckled lightly. "But I think I appreciate artistry in all forms. It reminds me of the beauty and imperfection." "You think life is about imperfections?" Lena asked, studying his expression. "Absolutely," he replied, his voice serious yet warm. "Finding beauty in the flaws is what makes it worthwhile." "And what about you, Ethan? Do you have imperfections?" she asked, her voice soft, testing the waters of vulnerability. He paused, his gaze piercing as he contemplated her question. "I have plenty. I think everyone does, but it is not the imperfections that define us, it is how we choose to handle them." Lena felt a stir of connection, a flicker of understanding as their eyes locked. But just as quickly, doubt crept back in. She couldn't help but wonder if he was simply putting on a show and active charm that worked on everyone. "What about your life? I mean, you mentioned you were seeking authenticity. Is that hard to find in your world?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly with curiosity. His expression shifted, a shadow flitting across his features. "Sometimes," he admitted, the weight of unspoken truths hanging between them. "There are moments when I feel like I am just a character in a play, rather than living my own story." Lena's heart ached, sensing a deeper pain hidden beneath his confident exterior. "You don't strike me as someone who would just play a role," she said, her fingers brushing against the flower tucked in her hair. "You seem real." "Thanks," he murmured, a softness enveloping his voice. "I try to be, but it is tough when expectations weigh heavy." As they continued to wander, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that she was peeling back layers of a complex man. Each moment with him felt like a dance on the edge of something beautiful, yet precarious. Suddenly, a sharp laugh broke through the warmth of the conversation, and they turned to see the group of glamorous women from earlier sauntering past again. This time, one of them, a stunning blonde with perfectly styled hair, caught Ethan's eye. "Oh, look who it is," she called out, feigning surprise. Ethan Sinclair, of all people, at the farmer's market. Who knew you had such eclectic tastes? Lena's heart sank. The tension surged in the air, sharp like glass. She could feel the eyes of the women on her, making her suddenly very aware of the difference between them. Ethan smiled at the women, but there was something strained in his expression. "Just enjoying the local flair," he replied, his voice smooth but with an undercurrent of irritation. "Right," the blonde drawled, her voice dripping with condescension. "You've always had a thing for the quaint and rustic, haven't you?" Lena felt her face flush as embarrassment washed over her. She pulled away slightly, trying to obscure the growing tension that had turned the air thick around them. "Nice to see you, Melanie," Ethan said, his tone polite but distant. He turned back to Lena, but the warmth they had shared moments ago felt like it was slipping through her fingers. "Let us go," he said, a hint of urgency in his voice as he led her away from the stall. "What was that about?" Lena asked, trying to keep her voice steady even as her insides churned. Just a bunch of socialites with nothing better to do, he said, his jaw tightening. Don't let it get to you. Easier said than done, she murmured, feeling the sting of their judgment linger. I don't know what I expected. He stopped, turning to face her, his expression softening. You are not what they think you are, Lena. You are genuine, something they wouldn't know how to recognize. But you could out anyone, she said, her voice trembling. Why me? Because you are real, he insisted, stepping closer, his intensity wrapping around her like a warm embrace. You have a passion that shines through, something that they lack. Still, she whispered, uncertainty gnawing at her. I am just a girl from a small town. You belong in a different world. I don't want to belong to a world that doesn't value authenticity, Ethan replied, his voice earnest, almost pleading. And I am drawn to you, Lena. Don't question that. No buts, he interrupted gently, taking her hands in his. Just in this moment. Trust in us. Lena searched his eyes, the warmth of his hands grounding her amidst the whirlwind of insecurities. The air crackled with unspoken tension, their chemistry igniting like wildfire. I want to, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. But I am afraid of what it could mean. Fear is part of the journey, he said softly, his gaze unwavering. But it is worth it, especially when you are with the right person. In that instant, something shifted. The noise of the market faded into the background, and the connection between them felt palpable, electric. The world around them seemed to blur as they stood encapsulated in their shared vulnerability, the tension simmering just beneath the surface. Lena's heart raced, a battle between fear and desire unfolding within her. There was something undeniably captivating about Ethan, and despite the doubts, she felt herself gravitating closer, yearning for the warmth of his embrace. Okay, she breathed, looking into his eyes, feeling. Lena took a deep breath, her heart hammering in her chest as she searched Ethan's eyes, that electric connection unmistakable. Okay, she whispered, barely audible over the bustling market. I want to trust this, trust us. A smile broke across Ethan's face, lighting up his features like the sun breaking through clouds. Good, he said, his voice warm and reassuring. Let us take it one moment at a time. Yet as they stood there, hands intertwined, Lena couldn't shake the flutter of uncertainty. The love of Ethan Sinclair was undeniable, but the vast divide between their worlds loomed like an insurmountable wall. How could a simple girl from a small town compete with the glitz and glamour that undoubtedly surrounded him? Let us keep exploring, Ethan suggested, breaking the tension that hung thick between them. He gently tugged her forward, weaving through the crowd. Lena followed, her heart racing for more than just the thrill of being with him. She observed the other market-goers, their carefree laughter blending with the vibrant colors around them. Yet the shadows of doubt crept back in. Was this too good to be true? They came to a stall overflowing with colorful fruits, vibrant oranges, and glistening strawberries. What is your favorite? Ethan asked, turning to her with that boyish grin that made her insides flutter. Strawberries, she replied without hesitation. I love how they're sweet yet tangy at the same time. Then strawberries it is, Ethan declared, leaning over to select the basket. He held them out to her, and she felt a rush of warmth as their fingers brushed. There was something about the way he looked at her. It ignited a fire deep within, even as her mind churned with uncertainty. The vendor, an elderly woman with a withered smile, nodded approvingly. You have good taste, dear, freshly picked this morning. Lena chuckled softly. I might have to come here more often. Ethan leaned closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. I could arrange that. Her heart skipped a beat, and she felt a warm flush creep up her cheeks. Really? You'd come back here? His eyes bored into hers, earnest and alive. Of course, I enjoy the authenticity here, the simplicity, and especially spending time with you. Lena's breath hitched, her pulse quickening. You are too sweet, she murmured, but the compliment felt inadequate for what stirred within her. They moved on, Ethan's arm brushing against hers with a casual intimacy. She had to lean into him to bask in the warmth of his presence, but the specter of doubt loomed large. You said earlier that you were drawn to authenticity. What does that mean for you? She asked, her curiosity breaking through her inner turmoil. Ethan paused, considering her question as they stopped to look at hand-painted pottery. It means I want people to show their true selves. So much of my life feels crafted, seen through a lens of expectation. I crave real connections. Real connections, she repeated, intrigued. And you find that here? Yes. He turned to her, his gaze intense. I feel that with you. Lena felt heat rise to her cheeks. Do you really? I do, he replied firmly, the sincerity in his voice making her heart leap. But then, as they turned to leave the stall, the same group of glamorous women from earlier crested the path again. This time, they moved like a slow-motion wave, all smiles and laughter, their presence almost oppressive. The blonde, Melanie, caught sight of them and raised an imperious eyebrow. "Oh, Ethan," she exclaimed, her voice dripping with saccharine sweetness. "Out with your little friend again?" Lena felt something twist in her stomach, a mix of embarrassment and anger. "I am not his little friend," she mumbled, more to herself than anyone else, but the words hung in the air. Ethan's expression hardened, and he turned to face Melanie. "I am spending time with someone I genuinely enjoy being around. You don't need to make it sound trivial." Melanie's laughter rang out, but it felt hollow, as if the very sound was meant to mock. "Oh, Ethan, always the knight in shining armor, but really, are you sure you want to be seen with her?" That was it. Lena felt the heat of humiliation flush through her, igniting her voice. "I am not some trophy to be judged by your standards. I am just here enjoying the market like anyone else." Ethan shot her a surprised glance, admiration flickering in his eyes. "Exactly," he added, stepping closer to Lena, a protective energy radiating from him. Melanie's smile faltered, but she quickly regained composure. "Suit yourself, darling," she said, her tone mocking. "Enjoy your quaint little excursion." Lena could feel the weight of the women's gaze as they strutted away, a palpable tension hanging between her and Ethan. "I am sorry," she said, her voice trembling as the moment of confrontation faded. "I shouldn't have snapped like that." "No," Ethan replied, his tone firm yet gentle. "You stood up for yourself, and that is something I admire. You don't need to apologize for who you are." "But they make it sound like I am less than I am," she said, frustration bubbling over. "You deserve someone who fits in your world, someone in—" "Stop." Ethan's voice was soft but commanding. "You don't have to change anything about yourself to fit into a mold. I am drawn to you because you're genuine and authentic in a world that often isn't." Lena searched his eyes, the intensity of his gaze making her heart race. "But I am afraid," she admitted, her voice shaky. "Afraid of being judged, afraid of losing this." A flicker of vulnerability passed across his features. "So am I, Lena. The world I navigate often feels isolating, and it is hard to trust anyone, but with you, it feels different." She let out a shaky breath, the tension between them thickening. "But what if they rewrite? What if I am just a distraction for you?" Ethan stepped closer, closing the space that had felt so insurmountable moments ago. "You are so much more than that. You make me feel alive in a way I haven't in years." Lena's heart fluttered at the weight of his words. "Really?" she whispered, feeling the pull towards him intensify. "Absolutely," he said, his voice earnest. "And I don't want to lose that connection." They stood close enough that the world around them melted away, the noise of the market fading to a distant murmur. Lena could feel the warmth radiating off him, an energy that enveloped her like a soft blanket. She yearned for the space between them to vanish, to lean into him and feel the safety of his embrace. "Well, what do we do now?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, the vulnerability hanging between them like a fine thread. "Let us finish our exploration," Ethan suggested, a sly smile breaking through the tension. "But first, can I get you a coffee? I promise, it'll be worth it." Her heart swelled at his playful tone, and she nodded, a smile breaking through her earlier uncertainty. "That sounds perfect." As they walked side by side, the earlier confrontation faded, replaced with an air of possibility. But as they moved deeper into the market, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that still lingered just beneath the surface, a gentle reminder that this moment, as beautiful as it was, could easily shift. They arrived at a quaint coffee stall, the rich aroma wafting through the air, inviting and warm. Ethan ordered a cappuccino for himself and a vanilla latte for Lena, their interactions with the barista light and playful. "Here you go, sunshine," he said, handing her the steaming cup. "Perfect for someone with a smile like yours." Lena felt her cheeks flush again, the weight of his compliment wrapping around her like a warm embrace. "You sure know how to make someone feel special," she replied, taking a sip, the sweet vanilla melting on her tongue. "You're just speaking the truth," he said, his eyes twinkling. "So tell me, what else do you love, beyond the market? What makes your heart race?" She paused, contemplating the question. "I love hiking," she admitted. "Being out in nature just makes everything feel right. The quiet, the beauty, I lose myself in it." "Then we should go together sometime," he suggested, a hint of mischief dancing in his eyes. "Just you, me, and the great outdoors." Lena felt a thrill at the thought, but something deeper tugged at her. "You hiking? I am not sure you'd enjoy it like I do." "Why not?" he challenged, grinning. "I can handle a little dirt if it means spending time with you." Lena laughed, but the laughter felt bittersweet. You re far from dirt. You re well, you re a billionaire. Lena savored the warmth of her vanilla latte, the sweetness dancing on her tongue while she studied Ethan's profile. They stood by the coffee stall, the sunlight filtering through the vibrant market awning, casting a soft glow on his features. Do you really think I could handle a hike? He asked, that playful spark igniting in his blue eyes. She found herself captivated by the way his gaze shifted, igniting a warmth in her that made her forget about their confrontation. Absolutely, she replied, a hint of teasing lacing her voice. You might even find it liberating, a break from all that glitz and glamour. Ethan laughed, a rich sound that sent a thrill through her. Maybe I need to escape the glitz and glamour more often. It's a nice change of pace, he said, his tone light but with an underlying sincerity that made her heart flutter. Not everyone can handle the wilderness, though, Lena replied, pretending to size him up. What if you get lost? Or worse, what if you trip over a root? I am sure you'd be there to save me, he shot back, a teasing smile playing on his lips. Besides, I can promise you I am tougher than I look. Lena's heart raced. Toughness is overrated. It is the softness that keeps us human. Her voice softened as she spoke, her vulnerability surfacing like a wave. Ethan met her gaze, his expression shifting to something deeper. I appreciate that, he replied earnestly. Amidst all the expectations, I often forget what it means to be human. She felt the weight of his words hang between them, a moment of vulnerability shared amidst the chaos of the market. But just as quickly, doubt crept back in, casting shadows over their budding connection. What does that even look like for someone like you? Lena asked, her tone cautious, grappling with her own insecurities. A billionaire who is used to getting everything he wants. He frowned slightly, the lightheartedness fading from his demeanor. You might be surprised. It is not all it is cracked up to be. There are always people who want something from me. Lena tilted her head, intrigued. Like what? Usually, it is my status or money. It makes it hard to know if someone genuinely cares about me, he admitted, his gaze steady. That is why I cherish moments like this where I can just be Ethan. Her heart ached at the vulnerability etched on his face. It must be isolating, she said softly. A little, he replied, his eyes searching hers. But I am trying to change that. I want to forge real connections, and I feel like I am doing that with you. Lena's breath caught in her throat. Do you really feel that way? More than you know, he confessed, stepping closer, the air between them thickening. You are unlike anyone I've ever met, and I want to know more about you. Her heart raced, a blend of excitement and fear swelling within her. What if it is just a moment for you, though? A distraction? No, he said firmly, his voice brokering no argument. This is not a distraction for me, Lena. I want to understand you, the things that make you tick, the passions that fuel you. Sincerity in his eyes made her pulse quicken. Okay, she whispered, feeling a flicker of hope ignite within her. Let us keep exploring then. With a shared smile, they left the coffee stall, their fingers brushing as they walked, the connection between them palpable. They wandered through the market, sampling fresh fruit and local delicacies, the laughter flowing easily between them. But the earlier confrontation tugged at her mind, a reminder of the worlds they inhabited. Every encounter with the glamorous woman reminded her that she was standing on the precipice of something vast and uncertain. What do you think of me? She blurted out suddenly, unable to contain her curiosity. I mean, really. Ethan paused, surprised by her question. What do you mean? I mean, you're really successful, billionaire, and I am just it. She faltered, swallowing hard. I am just me. Why do you want to spend time with someone like me? His expression softened, a tender light igniting in his eyes. Because you read genuine, Lena. You have this warmth that draws people in. You see the world differently, and I want to see it through your eyes. Her heart raced at his words. You really think that? Absolutely, he nodded. You have this passion and authenticity that is refreshing. It is rare. Lena felt herself flush under his gaze, her insecurities giving way to something warmer, something hopeful. I wish I had your confidence. You don't need confidence to be special, Lena, he said, placing a hand on her shoulder, the warmth of his touch sending ripples through her. You already are. She smiled, but the doubts bubbled beneath the surface. What happens when the novelty wears off? There is no novelty here, just a connection, he replied softly. You are special, and that won't change. As they continued wandering, the sun began to dip lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the market stalls. The vibrant colors of the fruits and vegetables seemed to deepen, reflecting the shift in atmosphere between them. A nearby vendor caught Ethan's eye, and he gestured excitedly. Look at those handmade bowls, they're really stunning. Lena followed his gaze, her heart fluttering at the enthusiasm he exuded. They are beautiful, she agreed, stepping closer to the stall. Ethan picked up a delicate painted bowl and turned to her with a boyish grin. How about we get one to remember this day? Do you really want to? She asked, feeling a twinge of surprise. Why not? It'll remind us of this moment. Plus, it's a work of art just like you. She laughed lightly, her cheeks warming at the compliment. You really have a way with words, don't you? It is easy when I am inspired, he replied, his eyes locked onto hers with an intensity that made her heart skip. As they selected a bowl together, Lena felt the warmth of their connection, but the earlier confrontation lingered at the edges of her mind. Doubt whispered like a lurking shadow, causing her to question what she truly wanted. Do you ever think about how this looks to others? She asked hesitantly, trying to articulate the turmoil within her. I mean, a billionaire and a girl from a small town. Let them think what they want, Ethan replied, his tone unwavering. What matters is how we feel about each other. But it is hard not to feel the weight of their judgment, she said, her voice trembling slightly. I mean, I am just a... Stop, he interrupted softly, cupping her face with his hand. You are more than just. You are amazing. Don't let the words define you. His touch sent a shiver down her spine, igniting a fire within her. I want to believe that, she whispered, feeling the tension between them shift. Then believe it, he said, his gaze unwavering. You were worth it. Lena felt the pull between them intensify, a magnetic force that drew her closer. Ethan, she breathed, but the rest of her words were lost in the electric atmosphere. Can I kiss you? He asked, his voice low and filled with anticipation. Her heart raced, a mix of exhilaration and fear washing over her. Yes, she breathed, her heart pounding in her chest. Ethan leaned in, their lips brushing together softly, a dance of tenderness that sent sparks flying. It was a kiss that felt like a promise, a shared moment that transcended the chaos surrounding them. As they pulled away, the world around them seemed to fade, leaving just the two of them, wrapped in their own little bubble. Wow, she murmured, still reeling from the intensity of the moment. Wow indeed, he replied, a satisfied grin spreading across his face. But as reality began to tug her back, Lena felt the weight of their worlds pressing down on her again. What now? She asked, anxiety creeping into her voice. Now we enjoy the moment, he said, his eyes sparkling, and see where this connection takes us. She hesitated, her heart fluttering with excitement and fear alike. Okay, she whispered, feeling a glimmer of hope ignite within her. As they continued to explore the market, laughter echoing through the stalls, Lena felt the tension and the weight of expectation slowly give way to possibility. They moved through the crowd, side by side, hearts racing and fingers brushing the path ahead, shrouded in uncertainty yet illuminated by promise. With each moment spent together, the world felt a little less daunting, a little more vibrant. Perhaps the beginning of something deeper was indeed within reach. And as she glanced at Ethan, his laughter ringing like music in her ears, Lena dared to believe that maybe, just maybe, she was enough.